Hi, welcome to this tutorial, mandolin lesson on the Bach Presto from the Sonata number 1, BWV 1001. This is a piece originally thought for the violin that works very well also on the mandolin. And if you play this at a slower tempo, then this is also a very good fingering exercise, a lot of music running, a lot of tricks, and I'm very glad to share this all with you today. Before we proceed, please subscribe to my channel, make a like. In the description you will find how to download the music sheet for this piece, and keep in touch, make comments. Very glad to share the mandolin passion with you. Okay, ready to go? Let's start. The first 4 bars are just an arpeggio on the G minor chord. But what is very important, to get each single bar as a cell. Okay, so we have the first bar. I take this letting 2 notes of different strings ringing at the same time. And I do it the same for 3 times. Same treatment, same functions of the different notes. Okay, so the fingering I choose is to make this trick 3 times the same thing, starting from different notes. So we have a consistency in the different episode of this phrase. And then we can go on. It's at the beginning pretty simple. We stay in first position. A lot of use of the fourth finger in this piece. Now we are in bar number 12, and we start a progression, an episode with different voices. We have a bass and a higher voice, and also this one that is probably a medium voice between the two. What is important that from this bar number 12, the bass is an open D that will ring all over the whole bar. This second bass, you probably don't want to keep it the whole bar like we did with the D. Okay, and remember, we want to be consistent each time we make a choice in the fingering. So yeah, if you don't want to keep it all the way through the end of the bar, we have to keep the sound on that overdub on some of the following notes. So you will have a consistency starting from the first appearance of the bass note. Also here, so you keep this bass for a little while more than its value. So you will have a consistency in the lower voice too. Okay, starting from bar 12. Okay, so we have 5 bars of progression coming, and all I suggest in first position. This bar number 16, you might consider to jump and play in the same string, but I don't do that here because when I play very fast, this jump can be a problem in this point of the piece. So I keep here the first position, and the right hand technique is always down up here, never changes. Now bar 17, we have a new progression starting, that is an arpeggio, and we can play this 2 bars with only one position, next two bars, new chord with the new position, same fingering, okay? What is good with the progressions is that you should use the same finger. Third element of the progression, same fingering, 1 2 1 3 1 3 2 3 2 4 2 4, same, okay, always the same. And then the last one, if you proceed with the progression, will be here. You can also open the progression going to the open string. That is the last element of the progression, so it's like an opening to the resolution of the progression. Okay, very important. So now we are in bar 25. With this episode, two voices, a lower and a higher. And now we change position. Now when we play E flat with the third, you might jump to the B flat with the same finger on a different string. It will interrupt a little bit the melody. That sometimes is not very good. And also if you want to go ahead with the speed, it might be a problem. So probably you can also do the same with the same finger, play two different notes like this, putting the third finger in between the two strings, okay? Or also in this way, like half barré. The third element of this new progression is not a problem. And also the fourth element, okay? I'm talking about bar number 28. Let's do it again. Second position, third position. Now you have two ways to do bar 29 and on. You can stay here in third position. I double with two different fingers on the same fret, two different strings. In this case, if you want to stay in third position. Instead, bar 29, you can also, after the preview progression, go to first position. That is probably the better solution for if you want to go ahead with the speed, okay? Both solutions are very good. I will go now with the open, with the first position solution. This is a progression from bar 32, and a little trick with a sort of hemiolia, meaning that Bach wanted to change, to move in another place the accent of the phrases. It is a nice trick to move the melody, you know, to move the rhythm of the piece. You can consider to put the accent in those points. So the lower note of each scale, here, 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 and here. So it will bring you to bar number 35 with the accent on the beat of the bar. Okay, let's proceed from bar number 35. Also in this case, you can consider to keep down the third finger and go to play the same fret on the lower string without losing the sound of the D. Or, you know, jump with the finger. It's your choice. And you know what? I tell you one secret. The fingering is very much related to the speed that you want to play the piece. You have a choice of different fingerings depending on the speed that you will play the piece. So also the fingering is like a growing. Meanwhile you are learning the piece, and when you want to improve the speed of the piece, also the fingering might change slightly, because some fingering that are not working when you play slow might work for a high speed playing. Okay, so let's keep going from 35 and on. Also in this case, same finger for the two notes. We keep first position for this episode. It will be very nice to follow the moving of the accent also for this phrase. Speaking about bar 42, like this. Okay, we can consider this kind of movement of the rhythm. Now we are bar 47. In this case, 48, I play first finger for both strings. First finger on B flat in bar 50. Why this? Because this is another progression with the bass that wants to ring. In the same way. So I keep it down a little bit more than its value. 51. Finish the first half of the piece very easily. I hope for you, I hope it was very clear. So let's go with the second part of the Presto. So second part of the movement, Presto. We are at bar number 54. We have a change of position. We do it using the open string, so that let us move the left hand. You can find my idea of fingering in my music sheet. You can download it from my website. And we go back again using the open string to change position. We go back to first position. So nothing to say until here, first position is fine. Now we start again with the progression on the arpeggio. And again we have a phrase with different voices, bass. Again, we have to keep the bass a little bit longer in order to have the consistency between the different bars. In this case, we can phrase because it's not easy to find a finger solution to keep the bass down, but we can make a little trick, staying a little bit more on the bass and phrase it like it is the arrival of the phrase, and now we start with the pickup to go to the next phrase. So now, talking about bar number 74, we have a new progression of the bass. Be very clear with the phrasing here. Each bass has the same importance, you know, it's like one voice that goes up. third finger on the B, natural B, because the second finger is busy with the F. So it's not really a change of position, it's just an extension of the range of the third finger. 78, 79. In this case, you can change string, jumping with the second finger, but it will interrupt a little bit again, so I suggest to play with the same finger. Okay, bar 81. This is an arpeggio of F7. And you might want to let it ring as much as possible, since it is an arpeggio. And now we are bar 86. Bar 86, we have an arpeggio, and we have to reach C on the 8th fret with the fourth finger, and we do this again without changing position, but making an extension of the range of the fourth finger. Okay, and now we start a very interesting progression. We are in bar 80 now, 9 with the pickup. Okay. And this is the way that I might suggest you to play the progression using the same fingering. So it's a 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, and then 1, 3, 1, 3. So we change position to second, bar number 90, bar number 90. And then in bar number 92, we use the open A to go back to first position, okay? So this is an interesting way to play this progression. It makes also consistent the way that we play in two different strings, let them ring. Okay, so you keep down those two fingers in order to make them ringing at the same time. And then melody, 93. It's a very good exercise, independence of the fingers. In this episode, I will make a video about some exercises for the independence of the fingers, but this is a very good one. Talking about bar number 94 and on, okay, all in first position and no change of fingering here. Now we are 101. Now you can find this note natural E, written as a natural E, bar number 103. I'm used to listen it as a E flat, the edition that I was using when I was young. It was with the E flat, so probably you will hear me playing this as a E flat. And I'm not sure what Bach really wanted in here. We are now in bar 104. All in first position. Sometime, of course, if the fourth finger instead of the open string allow you to not play in different strings, it's better to use it. Okay, now we have a little problem here. We are bar 112, actually from 111 to 112, so 11. Also in this case we should find a way to play, you know, with the same finger in two different strings, because or to jump. And I didn't learn to play this episode with the same finger in two different strings, so I have to jump, and so my phrasing is made in a way that musically it works, also slowing down a little bit and playing this way. And we have several times here with the third finger, and here with the second, and then it repeats. Also in this case maybe it's more easy to find. There is a way to play with the same finger the two different notes, okay? One 16. And we are now in bar 120. Again, here we are starting a new progression, and we have two ways to solve this puzzle. 120. So in this case the fifth, I use the same finger for two different notes without jumping, and this is 120, is the first cell of the progression, and then you can change position and do same fingering for this second cell, and then 122 same fingering, and then 123 we can go to the open string, the same kind of fingering with the one finger for two notes, same for 124. Now we have 125. This as a special trick because the fifth is diminished. So first 4, 3, second, and 1. So we use all 4 fingers in a row. And then also we have to change position here in order to go to the first position. So 1, 4, 3, second 1, and then we change position with the 4 to go to first position. So this was the first option possible to play this progression in bar 120. Let's see the second option. The second possible option for bar 20 is to play everything in first position. And it's very easy, of course, in this way. The sound is very different, of course, of the progression is not consistent, each bar with the same sound, because if you, like the first example, if you keep the same fingering each bar, the sound of the progression will keep the same. You can increase, you know, with the same function between the different notes. Instead, in this second example, the function between notes will not work in the same way. So you have to consider, you know, which one you prefer. Still 125, you can play open A and E flat with the 4th finger. So yeah, there is no changes. We keep the first position. And we arrive to 128. 128, again, we have two options. The first one is to play in the progression. We have again another progression each bar, so we can play with the same finger. So first finger on the bass, B flat, and we go up each bar, and we can go up until here, sixth position, playing this. The consistency is very strong in this case. If we do this, we can also change a string here, but with the open string you change totally the value of the bass respect the two that were previously played. The D will ring forever and is very different than the other. So I suggest you not play the open D. So we keep this, and now you can change position. So it's more consistent. So this is a double option for the first choice. Now let's see the second choice of fingering. If we stay in bar 128 in first position. Also this is good because we can keep the bass with the same value between the different bars. But make sure that this D at the beginning of 130 is with the forefinger, so you can interrupt it with the right value like the other basses. Okay, if you play it open, it will ring forever and is not consistent. 131. Okay, so I think I gave you all suggestions to finger this very complicated piece. Is a twistle, is a butterfinger exercise for the mandolin. Very good. So thank you for following this video until here. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel. Go to get my music sheet from my website. You will find other mandolin tutorials. Keep in touch and have a good mandolin day. Ciao!